Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training Day 15. Let's see what are we going to learn today. We'll quickly go through the previous session overview. We'll talk about the use case, one of the use case, and what is the fields, what are the standard fields, how to rename the tabs and labels, and what is the custom fields, and what are the Garner limits are there, and what are the different ways to review the fields or list out the fields, and what are different data types are available while creating the field. And then we'll have a quiz, questions, and then interview questions. Now quickly, what did we learn in last class?
Tabs, tab, custom object tab, web tab, visual force page tab,
Offline. Right? And how to create the external objects and how to import the CSV file in order to create an object. For creating object, when we import the data, how can we create an object by importing the data from CSV file? Right? So that's what we have learned. So today we'll see one of the use case. Now, yesterday we have discussed about the object. For example, if I'm creating a employee object, when I create an employee object, ultimately the first thing is the table name. The table name is created with same as a object name employee underscore C, ends with underscore C. So this is the custom object. So whenever the custom object is created, we know that there are 5 fields are created automatically by the Salesforce. The 5 fields are ID, name, owner, created by, and last modified by. So these are the fields which our system automatically creates into the Salesforce database. It will automatically create it, right? So that means in the database, I'll be having a table. There is a table that gets created. It creates the table. And in this table name is employee underscore C. Employee underscore C. So whenever this is created, by default, Salesforce is creating the 5 fields. One is the ID, name, owner, last modified by, created by. So these are the 5 fields which are created. These are the 5 fields it is created. ID, name, owner, created by, and then last modified by. Now, ID we cannot see. Only 4 fields we can see when you go to the fields and relationship in the object manager. ID you cannot see, but it will be there in the database table. Now, once the table is created, the second step is user interface, which is nothing but tab. It will create the user interface, which is nothing but a tab. User interface tab name is employees. What are the plural name is there? It will display the plural label name as a tab name, right? So it will display the employees. That means on the user interface, this is the Salesforce. In the Salesforce, whenever user click on the tab, as soon as they click on the tab, we will see one form, right? So for example, I'm able to see as soon as the user click on a new button on the tabs. So we have a employee name, and then owner. These two fields are by default it is displaying. Employee name is editable, where user can enter the data. But owner is read-only format. You cannot able to edit it. So this is the user interface, and in the user interface, user is clicked on the tab, employees tab. They have clicked on employees tab. So they have clicked on the employees tab, their new button. Once you click on a new button, you will be able to see at the initially only employee name and the owner. Employee name is editable, owner is read-only field. So these two are created. Along with this, Salesforce also creates a business logic. For object. That means it will create a class. At the back end. And what will be the class name? Class name is same as whatever the table name is there, same as that. The business logic is created at the back end. That means every object has a business class. So whether it is a standard object or whether it is a custom object, whatever the object it could be, every object has a business class. Has a business logic. Business logic is nothing but Apex class. What is the name of Apex class? Whatever the table name is there, that the same name is business logic name. So basically what will happen here is whenever the user is updating here, at the bottom will have a save and cancel button. So whenever either user click on a cancel button, it doesn't do anything. If user click on a submit button or a save button, immediately what will happen? It sends the response. It sends the request to the business logic. From the business logic, it will go to the employee table. In the employee table, it will create a record. So if everything logic is perfectly fine, there is no issue, then it will insert the data into the database.com. It will insert the data into the table. Now, once it is inserted in the table, then we will get a response back from the database, right? So from the database, we'll get a response to the business logic. From the business logic, again, it will go to the user interface, and then once user click on a save button, now it will be redirected to the detail page. So this is how entire structure. By default, everything happens at the back end whenever we create an object. These all things are happening at the back end. That means table is creating, business logic is creating, user interface is creating, and the layout is creating, right? There are so many things Salesforce is doing it. So we are just doing a 3-4 steps, but user is doing almost 10 steps in order to achieve that particular concept of object creation, right? So here This is the overall structure whenever the object is created. But here we have a employee table. But will the employee table is enough for me to create, for me to understand what is this employee details? ID, name, owner created by, last modified. Will that be enough to understand employee details? If I wanted to go for an insurance or if I wanted to go for any other details, this is not a sufficient. This data is not sufficient. So we need few more data needs to be stored related to employee, right? Related to employee, we need to store few more data. So this is not a sufficient. This data is not sufficient in order to go further any functional logic or any business functionality if I have to implement. This data is not enough. Basically, it is not enough for going further. So what we will do is we have to create a field. So these are the field ID, name, owners created by, last modified. These are the fields. But these fields are standard fields. These fields are standard fields. So whenever we go to the object manager, yesterday we have created few objects. Candidate. So here fields and relationship. By default, I can see 4, right? These are the standard fields, name created by, last modified by, owner ID. These all are standard fields where we do not have underscore C. But in order to know few more details, we need to create a custom fields. Custom fields. So what is the field here? What is the concept behind the field? Why the field is came into the place? Now fields are nothing but fields represents a column inside the table. Fields represents the column inside the table, which is used to store the application business specific data, which is used to store the application or a business specific data. So Salesforce provides the below 2 types of fields. Salesforce provides the below 2 types of fields, standard field and custom field. Standard field and custom field. Now here standard field. Fields represents the column inside the table. Whatever the fields are there inside the table is called as a fields. What it will basically hold, it will hold the or it will store the data related to the business or a application or any specific data we can store within the field. And Salesforce provides 2 types of fields, standard field, custom field. Standard fields are nothing but these are the ready-made fields provided by the Salesforce by default for every object. For every object, Salesforce is providing few standard fields. Few standard fields. Example, we have seen just now ID, name, owner, created by, last modified by. If it is a standard object, we'll have a more standard fields. And standard fields label name can be changed. You can change this standard field names. But we cannot remove the standard field from the object. Now, if you go to the account object, now let's go to the object manager. Here you have an account object. Here you have account object. In the account object, go to the fields and relationship. Go to the fields and relationship. When you go to the fields and relationship, here you have some standard fields are there. Now, can you change the standard fields? Yes, you can change it, but you cannot delete it. You can change the name of this. If you want to change the industry name, you wanted to change industry name. Now if you want to change, you can change the industry label name, not the field name. Only the label name you can change it. Only the label name you can change it, but not the field name. Field name we cannot change it. And we cannot delete the standard fields. We cannot delete the standard fields. Right? So here we have a phone. Phone is a standard field. I cannot delete this field, but I can change the label, not the field name. Field name, we cannot change it. Only the label can be changed. Only the label can be changed. Now, if you want to change the field label name, how can I change it? How can I change it? Can I edit this? Yes, you can edit this. And what you can do is, but will you able to edit here label? You cannot edit the label. You cannot edit the standard label. Now, how can I change it? Now, phone, I cannot edit. Label name, field name, I cannot edit. What about other standard fields? What about other standard fields? For example, I have a fax or industry is there. I'll click on the edit button. When I click on the edit button, field label name is not changed. Field label name is, I cannot change it. Field name is also, I cannot change. Now, what is the way to change the field label name? Standard field label name, how can I change it? What is the way to change it? Now, let's go ahead and see. There is some concept is called rename tabs and labels. Rename tabs and labels. So what it does basically is, if you want to rename the standard object tab, or a field label, whenever you wanted to change this, right? You wanted to rename the standard object tab or you wanted to change the field label name. In case if you wanted to change this, then you have to go to the navigation structure, setup, search for a rename tabs and labels. Search for rename tabs and labels. So here is when you search it, you will see this screen. Now here, these are the rename tabs and a label. Let's go ahead and see. Now before going to that, now first let me show you the UI part of it. Whenever you go to the account, in the account object, just click on the tab, navigation item, accounts. When you click on the accounts and open any account, go to the details section. When you go to the details section, here you see account name, right? Account owner, account number, account site, these are available. Now what I'll do is I'll go to the rename tab and labels. Rename tab and labels. Now here you have an option which is showing all the tab names. Whatever the tab names are there, all the tab names it is showing it, right? Now if you have a custom tabs, it is showing the custom tabs also. It is showing the custom tabs. Now click on the edit. Now I'm clicking on the account. Here tab name, it says account and accounts. So what I'll do is I'll change it to the customer. I'll change it to the customers and it is changing to the customers, right? Now it says customers. Click on it. Next. First enter the tab name. I have changed the tab name from the customer to account to customer. Now for example, if you want to change the field name, for example, phone is there. For example, phone. Now you wanted to change this to the customer phone. From the phone to the customer phone. Rating to the customer rating. I'm changing the standard field name is rating. I'm changing this to the customer rating, right? Or else if you want to change any other fields, for example, industry is fax is there. Or employees is there, right? Employees or a fax. If you want to change these field names completely, you can change it. So this is the singular and a plural name. And start with oval sound. This is the start with oval sound. Some kind of a sounds you will see. Now I do not want to see that. Now, right now I have changed the phone and email. Instead of phone, what I'll say is customer mobile home phone. Let's say that I'm going to change customer home phone. Customer home phone I'm changing. Or else simply I'll put a home phone. From phone to I'm changing the home phone and the rating to customer rating. Now click on the next or save button. Once it is saved, now here tab name is accounts, display label is customers. Renamed when it is happened on this date, right? Today, just now 8:25 a.m. and done by this person. Done by this person. Now let's go ahead and refresh. Now it changed to the customers here. It changed to the customers. Tab name, navigation item name is changed to the customer. It was before account. Now it is changed to the customer. Now here I have changed the phone number. I have changed the phone number. Let me refresh again. Now here details. Now phone number I have changed it and rating I have changed. Phone number to home phone and rating to the customer rating. Rating to the customer rating. These two I have changed it. But whenever I change the tab name, automatically wherever the account is, the prefix is there, like a account name converted to the customer name. Account number converted to the customer number, account site converted to the customer site, right? Wherever the account prefix is there, everywhere it is changed to account to customer, So everywhere it is changed to the account owner, it is changed to the customer owner. Account site, it is changed to the customer site. Right? We changed only two fields. We changed only two things. One is a customer rating and the phone. Only two things we have changed it. But as soon as I renamed the account to customer, as soon as I changed account to customer, everywhere, wherever it has the account, prefix field as a account, everywhere it is changed to the customer, account owner to customer owner, customer account name to the customer name, account number to the customer number, account site to the customer site, right? So these are the options which are automatically it changed. Now like this, you can update. Like this, you can update the details. Now here, in case if client doesn't want the rename tabs, they said that, okay, can you reset back? Now you do not remember what was the field name initially, the field which you have changed it. What was the field name? You do not remember. You do not remember what is the field name. Right now, we have changed only the two fields just 2 minutes before. So that's the reason we remember. But in the real time, what will happen is you will change the name of the field. After 6 months, client will come back. Can you reset back to the original label, whatever it was there? Now, in that case, you don't remember whatever the original value was there. Original is there. So what you can do is you can tell them that instead of changing the one field, better we will reset the complete thing. That means when you click on a reset, whatever we have updated, everything gets changed back to the original. The display label is changed from the customers to the label, and similarly, whatever the phone number is there, phone number, rating, whatever we have, it is reset back to the original. So we can suggest them, we can reset it back to the original. So this is the way how you will modify the label name. You cannot directly modify the label name on the standard field. You cannot directly modify the field label name directly on the standard field name. You have to go to the rename tab. In the rename tab side, you have to go to the rename tabs, and in the rename tabs, you have to make a changes, whatever the tab name or a standard field name which you wanted to change, you can change it. For the custom fields also, you can do the same thing. For the custom field also, you can do the same thing. Now, custom fields. Now for the custom fields, now as we know that custom fields are the Salesforce developer or administrator can add additional fields to the object based on the requirement. Based on the requirement, like if I have a requirement to create a custom fields, based on the requirement, Salesforce admin or a Salesforce developer, what they will do is they will go and create a custom fields. They will create a custom fields. Example for that is phone. I'm creating the phone custom field. If I'm creating the phone custom field, the API name is phone _ C. And then city _ C. Email _ C. Designation _ C. Age _ C. Birth date _ C. So what are the custom fields you created? Every field API name ends with _ C. We can customize these custom fields. We can remove the custom fields from the object. Later, if you wanted to change the label name, you can change it. Whatever you wanted to do, you can do it. You have all flexibility to delete, modify the label later, right? In case if you want to delete later or if you want to edit later, you can change it. You can change it. Till this point, any questions? Okay. Now let's move on. Now, whenever we are creating the custom fields, in developer edition, how many custom fields we can have it? How many custom fields we can have it? In developer edition, you can add maximum of 500 custom fields per object. Maximum 500 custom fields per object. You can create maximum 500 custom fields per object in the developer edition. Whereas in unlimited edition, can add maximum of 800 custom fields per object. 800 custom fields per object. Now, let's go to the here object. Now go to the object limits. In the object manager, you have a object limits. In this object limits, it is divided into the different level of fields. It will divided into the different level of fields. Now, in this custom fields, right, 500 maximum you can create it in the developer edition. In the developer edition, you can create maximum 500. Now, in case if you want to implement a relationship, you can do the 40, right? So 500 and there is a different, apart from the 500, you can create a 40 relationship fields. 40 relationship fields. Now, similarly, in the unlimited also, you can create a 800 maximum custom fields you can create it. Salesforce is providing, for example, if I go to the account, in the account, fields and relationship, right? In the fields and relationship, so far we have not created any custom fields. But Salesforce, I see that there is a few fields which are having the _ C. The reason is Salesforce itself is providing these fields. So that means nowadays, whenever we create a org, Salesforce is providing the standard fields as similar to the previous. And then apart from the standard fields, they are also providing the custom fields. That is just for a referral. They are creating the custom fields. Like active checkbox, customer priority, right? Number of locations, upsell opportunity. Some of them, they are providing it. They are providing it. So that's the reason you can see custom fields on the, you can see custom fields on the standard object. By default, it is available. By default, it is available, but this is provided by the Salesforce, but we cannot call this as a standard field. It is a custom field. Even if the Salesforce is providing the field which is called as a underscore C, those are called as a custom fields. Those are called as a custom fields. Yes, when you see the custom field, open up this field and you will see edit, right? Now you can edit the field, right? So this is the upsell opportunity. Label name you can edit, name you can edit, right? Who has created? We have not created the upsell opportunity. It was created by the Salesforce. It was created by the Salesforce. Created date is created by 04, right? So basically we have not created. Last month we have created the org. Last month we have created the org. Now, if you want to delete this, right, click on this arrow button and you have an option delete. You have a option delete. Similarly, if you go to the any other custom object which is provided by the Salesforce, you can delete it, you can edit it, you can modify. Wherever, whether the Salesforce is providing or whether admin is creating or whether developer is creating, wherever you see underscore C, those will have a flexibility to delete and modify it. Right, so let's go ahead. Now, so far we know that what is the field and what are the different type of fields are available. Now, what are the different ways to view the fields? What are the different ways to view the fields? There are three ways to view the list of the fields. One is object manager, which we have seen in the object manager. If you go to the fields and relationship, you can view the data. Second one is schema builder. In the schema builder, you have an option to view the fields. Schema builder, you have an option to view the fields. So search here schema builder. Search here schema builder. In the schema builder, open up the schema builder. Now here you have a what are the fields are available, everything you can view. What are the fields are available in the account object. You can view all the fields here. You can view all the fields. Right, so here also you have the way of viewing the fields in the schema builder. And the third one is developer console. The third one is developer console. Developer console means you need to go to the setup and open the developer console. In the developer console, open up the developer console. Here you have an option file, then you have a open, file, open. Click on a file, open, then click on here object and select the what are the object you wanted. Click on open. Now you can see here all the fields which are available inside the object. You might see more fields here in the developer console. You might see more fields in the developer console. For example, billing street, billing city, billing state, billing postal code, billing country, billing latitude, billing longitude, billing geo code, billing address. These are the fields which you cannot see in the object manager. These are the fields which you cannot see in the object manager. Now, if you search here billing, only one field you might see here billing address, right? So, but billing address, what are the fields are available within the billing address? You can see here in the developer console. So developer, why the object manager it is not showing is those fields is not necessary to show here. Those fields not necessary to show here because whenever you are creating the address, so entire address is covered as a single text, single field, right? It is considered as a single field. But actually at the back end, This single field is divided into the subfields. This single field is divided into the subfield. These details, customers or whoever is having an admin access, they should not be knowing it. Only developers or Salesforce admin should know what are the in-depth fields like ID. ID we cannot see here in the fields and relationship. But when you go to the Apex, when you go to the developer console, you will see ID. Is deleted, you cannot see. Master record ID, you cannot see, right? There are few hidden fields. In the few hidden fields, what are the hidden fields are there? If you want to see those hidden fields, you can go to the developer console and you can view all the fields that are available in the developer console. So there are 3 ways you can view the list of the fields. Now, let's assume that now these are the fields. But if I want to create a new field, if I wanted to create a new field, what should I need to know? Whenever you wanted to create a new field, you should know about the data types. What are the data types that are required in the Salesforce in order to create a field? Now, while creating the field in the object, we have to select the data type. While creating the field in the Salesforce, we have to select the data type. Data type describes what type of data. Values can be held inside the field. Data type describes what type of data or a value can be held inside the field. That means there are multiple data types are available inside the Salesforce. What are those data types? We have a text data type, text area data type, text area long data type, text area rich data type, text area encrypted data type, checkbox data type, date data type, time data type, right? And few more also available. Few more time data type, and then we have a date time data type, number data type, percentage data type, currency data type, URL data type, email data type, pick list data type, pick list multi-pick list data type, geolocation data type, auto number data type. Total 18 data types are available in the Salesforce. Total 18 data types are available in the Salesforce whenever we are creating a custom field. Whenever we are creating the custom field in the standard object or a custom object, these are the different type of fields which are available. Total 18 data types which are available. Now, the first one we'll see about the text data type. We have a text data type. Now, what is this text data type? Now, let's go back to our scenario. Now, for example, here I have a ID name owner created by last modified by, right? Now, if the new employee is joined in the company, what is the additional data which I wanted to know about the employee is their PAN card number. So I need to know the PAN card number. So that means I need to create a custom field where they will be entering the PAN card number. PAN card number will have a alphanumeric data, right? So alphanumeric data which is available for this. Now, in case if I wanted to collect this PAN card data, what type of a field should I need to create it? I should be creating the text data type. Because text data type allow us to store the alphanumeric values along with the special characters. It is allowing us to store the alphanumeric values along with the special characters up to maximum of 255 characters. That is the limitation. Text data type, the character limitation is maximum 255 characters. 255 characters. Now, whenever you are creating the text data type, what are the properties that are available? Properties are, for example, I'm selecting here text, right? So whenever I'm clicking on the text, creating a new custom field, this is the option I selected, text data type. So allow user to enter any combination of letter and numbers. Now, whenever I select this, what are the properties that are available inside the text data type? First one is it is going to ask you the field label. First one, it is going to ask you the field label. Now, next one is a field label. Field label is the property is used to specify the label, static text to visible the user interface. Field label is what users are able to view the name of the field. What is the users are able to view the name of the field. So this property is used to specify the label or a static text to be visible on the user interface. So field label is nothing but what users are able to view. That means if I go to the Salesforce, and if I go to here, now what is the users are able to see here, the field name is, that is the field label. Whatever users are able to view here, the data, the text, which is called as a field label. These are the field labels. These all are field labels. Right? So whatever the users are or the customers are able to see the data is called field label. That means property is used to specify the label or a static text. Static text. Static text is called as a field label. Now the next one is field name or an API name or a developer name. Field name, API name or a developer name. Few members say it as a field name, few members says it is an API name, few members says it is a developer name. Whatever it might be. What is this? API name or a field name or a developer name? What is it exactly? So basically, this is the property represents the actual column name in the table. In the table, that means in the backend. In the backend, how the field is stored. How the field is stored. Now here, I'm specifying here one field, I'm creating it, which is name is PAN card. I'm creating the PAN card. PAN card is how it is visible. Now this is the field label. This is the field label. But what is the field API? API name is nothing but how the data is, how the field is stored in the table. So which is represents the API name. In the table, it doesn't store it as a same as a label. It doesn't store it as a same as a label. It always stores in the backend as a underscore C. Underscore C. So basically the API names are where it is stored in the table in the database, or whenever we wanted to write a logic on the business logic, we use the API name of the field. We use the API name of the field because that API name is stored in the table in the database. Whatever the column name is there, that name is stored as a API name. So that's the reason we have two things. One is a field label, another one is a field name or a API name or a developer name. API name, developer name or a field name are always stored into the table, or in the table, the data will be, the field name will be always stored in the underscore C. So that's the reason whenever we are writing a business logic, whether it is a Apex, Visual Force, Lightning, or flows, wherever you are writing the logic, formula fields, validation, right? Wherever we are writing the logic, whenever we are writing the logic, we always use the API name. We should not use the field label name. We should not use field label name. It is always referred API name. Now the next property is called as a description. So description is the property is used to provide the comments, description about the field, right? So the next one is a help text. Help text is nothing but the property is used to provide the tooltip text message. Tooltip text message for online help to visible to the user. Now, what is this help text? What is this help text? Now, help text is nothing but. Now, let's go to the notepad. In the notepad, whenever I install for the first time, any user, basically this notepad is a self-learner because nobody will teach how to use the notepad. Nobody will teach how to use the notepad. Now, but so many icons are available here. If you observe this, there are so many icons are available here and so many options are available here. Now, what is the purpose of like those many options? How will I understand if nobody is going to teach me? How will I understand what are the things that I need to use it? If you are not clear, just hover on this. If you hover on this, so then what will happen? It is going to give me the hint here. Okay, this is the paste and this is a copy, this is a cut and this is undo. Okay, this is a redo and this is a find button, this is a replace. What is happening? It is giving me the help text. Below the cursor, it is giving me the help text, right? Whatever the text it is displaying, it is giving me some kind of a help text in small description. In small description, it is giving me the help text. So that help text is called as a tooltip. Basically, this is called as a tooltip. Whenever I hover this, it is called as a tooltip. In Salesforce also, we have a tooltips. In Salesforce also, we have a tooltips. Now, if you go to the OWD, let's go to the OWD, sharing settings. Right? So it is even available on the object level also. Now click on edit. Now this is the tooltip. Whatever you see here, whatever you see, this is the I. Wherever you see the I, information. I is nothing but a information. So whenever you click on whenever you hover on that particular thing, it is going to display the tooltip. It is going to display the tooltip. So help text is nothing but a tooltip. Tooltip which is provided for the user to understand what is the purpose of that particular field, or it is an online help to be visible to the users. And then next one is a length. Length is basically what is the length of character that you are expecting, right? So this property is used to restrict the number of characters that are allowed within this particular text. PAN number is what is the PAN number length? 10 digits. Now, you do not want to enter user to you do not want user to enter more than 10 digits. In that case, you can limit the length is 10 so that user can enter maximum 10 digits. User can enter maximum 10 digits. Next one is a required checkbox. Required checkbox. So this property is used to make the field required or a mandatory. This property is used to field required or a mandatory. Now we have a ways to make the field required. We have a field ways to make a field required. Now here Salesforce provides the below 5 fields to make the field required. The first one is while creating the field, select the required checkbox. While creating the field, if you want the fields to be required, that means as soon as I create a field, that means while creating the field, now let me go back to the Salesforce. Here, object manager, and let's go to the account, and I'll go to the fields and relationship. Click on a new button here. Click on new button. So when I click on a new button, I'll select a text here. Click on next. When I click on a next, field label, it is displaying it. Length, field name, automatically display, description, help text. Now here, this is the required. This is the required. If you want this field to be required, always require a value. Now, for example, I'm creating here PAN number. I'm creating a PAN number. Right? So PAN number, I'm saying here 10 digits, 10 digits. And the description, this field is used to collect PAN number details, PAN number information, PAN number details, employee PAN number details. Right? So in the help text, enter PAN number, enter PAN number. Required, always require a value in this field in order to save the record. Right? This is the required one. Now, in the interview, they will ask you what are the different ways you can make the field mandatory. What are the different ways you can make the field mandatory? You can make the field mandatory through the, while creating the field, you can make it mandatory while creating the field, or else you can create a field mandatory from the page layout, or else you can make a field mandatory through the validation, or else you can make a field mandatory through the Apex trigger, or else you can make the field mandatory through the Visual Force programming or Lightning Aura programming or LWC. This is the interview questions. They will ask you that what are the different ways you can make the field is mandatory. So there are 5 ways you can make the field mandatory. What are those 5? These are the one. These are the one. And the next one is unique checkbox. Now this property will make the field value unique, and it will not allow the duplicate values. It will not allow the duplicate values. Now the next one is the external ID checkbox. Next one is a external ID checkbox. This external ID checkbox is nothing but, what is this external ID checkbox? External ID checkbox is basically select this field if you want a unique record identifier. Now, sometimes we need a unique identification. Few fields which we need a unique identification. What is this unique identification is? This unique is a different. Unique is do not allow the duplicate values. Now, external IDs are nothing but if I have a value already stored with some digit. If I have a already value is stored with some digit. For example, external ID is stored. Basically, this is when I'm bringing the third-party system data, right? It's not complete data. It's not complete data. Let's see the example. Now here, external ID is nothing but, now here I have a Salesforce. Here I have a Salesforce. And here some third-party system is there. Now in the third-party system, there are few records which are available in the one object, right? So every record has a some ID for them. Every record has a some ID. So like this, there are 3 records are there. So the ID for this one is, so the ID for this one is, let's say example 003. Now we have some number here. This is the ID. This is the ID which is available for the first record. This is the ID which is for the first record. And the second record, it is for the third record. This is for the third record. Now here for the second record, I have a something different number. And for the third one, I have a different number. Different numbers are available. These are the different numbers. These are different numbers which are available. This is for the first record. This is for the second record. This is for the third record. So these are the IDs in the third party system. This is third party system. In the third party system, these are the IDs. Now, I have another object in the Salesforce. This is the Salesforce. This is the Salesforce. Now, in between these two, we have a integration which is implemented. In between these two, we have an integration that is implemented. In between these two, we have a integration that is implemented. That means this is the integration. Now, whatever the record is created in the Salesforce, that record will go to the third-party system. Whatever the record is created in the third-party system, it will come back to the Salesforce. Now here, along with my ID, for example, on the account, I have a ID. On the account, I have a ID. Account, I have a ID, right? So this ID is 001 and some number is there. Along this account ID, whenever I open the account ID, I can see standard fields, custom fields, everything is there. Along with that, I will be able to see the external ID field. External ID field. So what is this external ID field? Basically, this external ID field is which refers the third party ID. Third party ID. I can store that ID in my system. I can just store the ID. I need not to store entire data. I can just store the third party ID into the Salesforce. Third party ID into the Salesforce. Now, what will happen tomorrow in case if I wanted to know if I'm not getting the details or if the data is different between the two systems? I can provide the third party system. So the referral ID is this one. So for this one, we were able to get the details from the third party system. Now, can you check, do you have this particular record in your system? So like that, we will be specifying it. Like this, we will be specifying it. External ID checkbox. That means if I wanted some external ID checkbox is nothing but this is basically external system record ID. This is external system record ID. Now, if you say here external ID, check this, that means set this field as a unique record identifier from the external system. From the external system, if you wanted to store the unique identifier, you can store it. You can store that. So those are the different and few more auto add to the custom report type. Auto add to the custom report types. Basically, if you want to add it to the reports, then you can use it. And the default value is, this is basically to display any default value. By default, you wanted to show some data. You wanted to show some data. My external ID, this is a checkbox. It is not a length. It is a checkbox. Do you wanted to store the length of that external ID? How much is the length? It is depending on what type of data type you are using. In this case, we are using the text data type. We have a maximum length of the text data type is 255 characters. Yes. Along with our whatever the ID is available, this 18-digit ID, right? Also, I wanted to have one more field here, which is a unique field where it is storing the external systems data. External systems data. No. So that is how we create it. Whenever we create any field, we need to understand each field what we are creating it. Similarly, we have a text area data type. Text area data type is also similar to the text data type, but it stores the alphanumeric values along with the special characters 255 in multiple lines. Text data type is also 250 lines, but it is in a single line. Whereas a text area is, you will have a multiple lines, you can view that. Now, what are the properties that are available? Field label, field name, description, help text, required checkbox, right? Auto add to custom report type, default value. These are the properties which are available in the text area. Now we know the field label. What is the field label? Field name, we know field name is nothing but an API name. Now description we know, help text we know, required checkbox. Yes, if you want to make the field as a required checkbox, then you can make it. Auto add to the custom report, you can add a default value, you can add the default value. So these are the maximum properties which are available for any data type if you take it. So if you take a text area long data type, text area long data type is, which is a more characters you can enter here, like a 1,31,072 characters. You can enter, and that means you can store that much data into this. You can store these many characters into the text area long data type. And whenever you are creating the text area long data type, you have a properties field label, name, description, help text, length, number of line visible, because text area long data type is, it can show three lines. Now if you go to the any of the things, now let me edit this. Now these all are showing in the one line, but whereas here it is showing the two lines, right? I can enter here the data, two lines it is showing, right? So now if you wanted to show like this, if you want to show by default three number of visible lines, how many visible lines you want? If you say 10 lines I wanted to be visible, 10 lines I wanted to be visible, so it will show the 10 lines here. As soon as you save the data, it will show the 10 lines, it is going to be visible. 10 lines, it is going to be visible there. Now auto add to the custom report, default value, these are the same one. And the next one is rich text area. Text area rich, or a rich text area. This is also has the same character limit, 1,31,072 characters. You can enter, but formatting option will be different. Formatting option is different. Now, whenever you create a rich text area, we can add or change the font, style, size, color, alignment, insert, image, pictures, hyperlink, everything you can add into this text area rich. Where it is not available for the text area long or a text area or a text, you cannot add an image, you cannot add a font, style, size, color, alignment, insert, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. But whenever you are creating the rich text area, the properties are same properties. Whatever the properties are available for the long text area, same properties are available for the rich text area. Let's go ahead and create one rich text area. Now in the account, now let's cancel this. Now let's click on a new. Now I'm going to select the rich text area, click on next. Now I'll say here a rich text area. Now by default, it will take some number here. If you want to increase or decrease, you can do it. Maximum you can put it as a 1,31,072. Right? Description, all these things you will be entering the data. And once you click on a next button, whenever we are creating the field, it is going to ask you that what is the level of security? What is the level of security that you want? That means every profile should be visible these fields. Every profile should be visible these fields. Now you can specify what are the profiles that should be visible. By default, it will, Salesforce is going to identify and enable those checkboxes. Or apart from this, if you want to remove, edit, whatever you wanted to do, you can do. Visible is nothing but where you can visible and edit it. Read only is nothing but where you are able to view it, but you cannot edit the field. Now click on a next one. When you click on a next one, it is going to ask you that do you want to add this particular field in the page layout? Now, if you want to add this particular field in the page layout, specify that and click on a save. Click on save. Once it is saved, let's refresh this account. Go to the details. Now here I have a rich text area. Whenever it is different compared to long text area and this one, it is a different. Rich text area. Hi, I'm learning Salesforce admin, right? So here if you wanted to highlight this bold, you can highlight it, or if you want to change this as an underline, you can do that, or if you want to make italic, you can make it, or else if you want to insert an image, or else if you want to insert any image. So if you want to insert any image, you can insert it. Right, this is the Salesforce banner. Right, these all things can be possible in the rich text area. These all things can be possible in the rich text area. Right, so these all you can make it, but you cannot do it in the long text area. The images you cannot place it. Images you cannot place it. So whenever you require this type of a field, then only use it. If you do not need image, picture, font, or if you do not need anything, do not insert or do not make changes anything to it. Do not make changes to, do not use the rich text area. If you do not need a images, or if you do not need a pictures, if you do not need a alignment, color, size, font, if you do not need it, do not use the rich text, because unnecessarily you are using the space at the back end. If you really need a rich text area, then only go for it rich text area. And next one, we have a encrypted data type, text area encrypted. There is a one option which is available, text encrypted. Text encrypted. That means you wanted to create a text field. You wanted to create a text field. In that text field, you are storing the sensitive data of the Salesforce employees. Sensitive data. Maybe let's assume that their passport details, right? We are storing the sensitive data which we do not want to show everybody. Similar to the password. When you enter a password, actually you are typing the alphabet, alphanumeric, you are typing it. But the way it is entering into here is a mask, kind of a mask, it will be entered, right? So in case if you want that type of a data, you can use text encrypted. Basically, whatever you encrypt, whatever you enter the data, that data will be encrypted. Whatever the data you are entering it, it is going to be masked. It is masked. That means here we have a properties or field label, name, description, help text, data owner, field usage. Basically, you wanted to use this field, active, deprecated candidate, hidden. Do you want to hide this field, or do you wanted to activate it? You can use that. Data sensitive level. What is the data sensitive level? Is it a public sensitive level or a confidential, internal, restricted, mission critical, right? So compliance categorization. So compliance categorization is, this is specific to the Garner limits. So especially in USA, we have a HIPAA kind of a thing, right? Any government policies which we have related to that, if you want to choose, like you are capturing the HIPAA related details from the employee. So in that case, I wanted to hide this particular one. So you can specify that this text area encrypted is compliance category is HIPAA, or else you are capturing some Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or you are capturing some the payment card industry details, or you are capturing the personal identifiable information, something which is very restricted as per the government. You can choose it, these options. Now let's go ahead and create one. Now let's go to the new, click on a new. Now when you click on a new, bottom you will see text encrypted. Now here it is a help text, it is given. Text entered into the field is a encrypted, right? Click on next. Now here I'll say that encrypted text, right? Or else I'll say here HIPAA, capturing the HIPAA details, capturing, or let's say simply HIPAA. This is one of the government rule, HIPAA related. Now here I'll say maximum like a 30. And mask type, do you want to mask all characters, last 4 characters, credit card number, or a national insurance, social security number, social insurance? Now, if you are capturing the credit card details, I'm capturing the credit card details. When I'm capturing the credit card details, I want the last 4 characters clear. You can choose anything, entire credit card number. So let's take a credit card number here. Mask category, do you want to use the star or X? Let's say X, right? So if you use a credit card number, last 4 digits only display, and first whatever the digits are there, it will not be displayed. If you say last 4 characters like this, it will be displayed. If you say mask all characters, everything is masked. If you say national insurance number, it displays in this number. Now, if you say social security number, it displays in this format. So right now I'm taking it as a credit card number. Click on a next. Right, this is the field level visibility. Select this and click on a next button. And what is the page layout do you want it to display it? Click on a save button. Now let's go ahead and refresh here. Click on details. Now click on refresh again. It will take some time. Let me switch to the classic. Let's go to the account. Right, I can directly click on here recent items, which will open the record. Now here credit card details. So here enter the credit card details. Actually, I'm entering the credit card details and click on save. Once I click on a save button, what is happened? Everything it is converted into the mask characters. Everything it is converted to the mask characters. Right, so this is purpose of the text encrypted. You wanted to collect the data, but you wanted to encrypt the data. For that purpose, we use a text area encrypted. Right, so this is how it will display. Mask type, mask all character, everything is masked. 4 characters, last 4 characters is clear. It is going to display the last 4 characters. Credit card number, if you wanted to display similar to the credit card number, it will display similar to the credit card number. National insurance is like it has a 2-digit, and then 1 digit it has. So what are the format of the national insurance number? That the same format it will take it and it will mask it. Social security number also similar. Social insurance number is also similar. Now next one is a checkbox data type. Checkbox data type is used to store the Boolean values, either true or a false. Now properties are similar: field label, field name, description, help text, default options. These are the options which are available. Right. Next one is a date data type. Date data type is specifically it is allows only the date value by selecting the option here, date. Basically from the calendar you can choose it a date. From the calendar you can choose the date. Field label, field name, description, help text, required checkbox. These are the properties which are available for the date. Here it is only the date information. Now, if you want the time information, it will display only the time. We have a specifically time data type is available. When you use this time data type, it is only for the getting the time, whether you wanted 12 hours, 24 hours format, whatever the format you wanted. 12 hours is nothing but a like after 12 p.m. After 12 p.m., if you say 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., then it is 12 hours. 24 hours is nothing but after 12 p.m., you say 13, 14, 16, 17, till, right, till whatever the night 12 a.m., right, 00. Finally, it will convert to the 00. After 12, if you specify 13, 14, 15, whatever the clock is there, then it is a 24 format. 12 format is nothing but after 12 o'clock, if you say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then it is a 12 hours format. So it will take in a different format, hours, minutes, or hours, minute, seconds, or hours, minute, seconds, and milliseconds. Now, example for the 12 format is 9 a.m., 4 p.m., right? 24 hours format is 14:30, that means 2:30 p.m., 18, 6 p.m. So these are the 24 hours format. Whenever you are creating the time data type, the properties are field label, field name, description, help text, and the required checkbox. Similarly, we have a date time data type. So this date time data type is where you can select both date as well as time, similar to the created by, last modified by, deletion date, and the properties which we have a field label, name, description, help text, required checkbox. Now let me show you one option in the Salesforce. Let me switch to the Lightning. Now in the Lightning, go to the opportunity. In the opportunity, you have a one field called created date or a closed date which is available. So let's open one record. Now let's go to the detail section and click on edit. When you click on edit, here you have a closed date where it is collecting only the date. You can select the calendar here. You can choose the date. It is collecting only the date. Now, if you want a date time format similar to this, you can choose the date time data type. You can choose date time data type. If you want only date, similar to the closed date, you can choose only date. If you want only time, you can choose the time as well. When you are choosing it, select it whether you want a 12 format or a 24 hours format. And the next one is number data type. Number is basically where you are entering all the decimal digits. It could be a digits, like you are collecting the details of number. Like for example, in this scenario, if you want to collect employee ID, that means there is some generated ID will be there. Specifically, it is a employee ID. Now you wanted to collect employee ID. Now let's say here I wanted to collect the employee ID. Right? Usually employee ID will be single digit, like a 245 or a 243. Some numbers will be there. So this kind of when you have a decimal digits, if you want any salary details, if you want to add a salary details, for example, this is the employee ID. Next one, I wanted to add salary details. For salary details also, you can use number data type. Right? So sometimes directly you will have a salary 20 lakhs. Sometimes you have a 19, some number dot, some 35 decimal numbers will be there. Right? So like this also, you will be using it. Like this, you will be using it. Now here you have a 3212, 5.6, 6.1. Like this, you can enter the details. Properties, field label, field name, description, help text, length, number of decimal digits, required checkboxes, unique checkboxes, external ID checkboxes. These are the one which you will be using it. And the next one is percent data type. This is basically for the percentage. Example like a 10%, 3%, some GST or CGST, SGST, right? So when GST is 3% is nothing but you have a separated for the state and whatever the country-wise, state-wise, it will be different, right? So it will be converted, that's GST into the country as well as the state. So whatever the percentages are there, you can use the percentage for the data type called percentage. Here you can use along with the decimal points, which postfix, like it will be added percentage. It will be added percentage. Similar to the in the opportunity, we have a something called 20%. When you enter, you will enter 20, but percentage is automatically added. Automatically, it is added. Now here properties are field label, field name, description, help, text length, the number of decimal digits, required checkbox. Required checkbox. So these are the available. Now, for example, if you want to collect the currency data type, like you wanted to collect the salary, US salary, if you wanted to collect it, you can use this also 20,000 salary, right? $20,000, $10,000. If you want to collect the currency details, you can use the, because in the currency, the only difference is in the currency, you will get a by default dollar symbol. By default, you will get a dollar symbol. Now it will allow maximum of an 18-digit decimal digit number in the field. And each value will be prefixed with the currency configured. There is a currency symbol will be there. So it will be prefixed with currency. Now properties are same properties. Now here only the thing is number of decimal digits. How many decimal digits you want? Now after dot, how many numbers you want? Now for example, if you say that your actual length is 18, you say that my length is 18. If your length is 18, then you need to specify 16 is the actual length and then 2 is the decimal points. That means after the 6 digits, after the 16 digits, like for example, I have a 16 digits here. Now I'm entering some 16 digit. After 16 digit, I'm expecting 2 decimal numbers. 2 decimal numbers. Now whatever you want. For example, if you are expecting only 3 actual text and then 2 is a decimal. Through 2 or rest of them is like a 5 is a decimal. 5 is a decimal. Now in that case, what will happen? It will take only 3 digits and then after the decimal, it is going to accept the 5 digits. If you have not entered the 5 digits, if you enter only 2 digits, then rest of the digit, it will calculate it as a 00. It will calculate it as a 00. So total it is length is 8 and 3 is a normal and then decimal point number of decimal digits is 5. If you specify 5 digits, it will take the 5 digits. If you do not specify the 5 digit, if you specify only 1 digit, then rest of the digits, it will take it as a 00. By default, it will take it as a 00. So we can change the currency symbol based on the company information. So I have already shown you the company information. If you go to the company information, we have a currency symbol. We have a currency symbol. If you change the currency symbol, it will be changed. Here you have a company information. In the company information, now you have a currency locale is what it is actually the org word. If you change this, it will be changed. It will be changed. Click on edit. Now here currency. Now if you want a USD, if you want a different one, you can change it and update it. Based on that, it will update. So that's what you can dollar to INR. So that's what I'm saying here. Change here currency locale. So go to the company information, change it. We can change the currency symbol based on the need in the company information link. In the company information, go to the currency locale. It was INR for me, so I changed it to the USD. Now it is converted to the USD. Whenever I create anything, it will by default, it will take it as a dollar symbol. Clear? Is that clear, Ram? Previously also I have shown that. Okay, so let's move on. If you want to activate the checkbox, activate multiple currencies. If you want to activate multiple currencies, you can activate it, but do not do the activating multiple currencies because you are making the complicated. You are making the complicated that activating the multiple currencies. So if you make activate multiple currencies checkbox equal to true, that means you are making the system is too complicated. You are making the system is too complicated. So do not activate this. That means in this or I wanted to capture the US currency, I wanted to capture the Indian currency, I wanted to capture the Dubai currency, I wanted to capture the German currency. So I have a different currencies are there in this or. That means you are making it too complicated scenarios in the system. So do not check this in the real time. If you really need it, then only go for this activating the multiple currencies. But this, when you activate it, you need to define for which records you wanted to make it as a Germany, for which records you wanted to make it as a Dubai, for which records you wanted to make it as a USD INR. So that is based on the country again. Based on the country, you can choose the currency. Based on the country, you can choose the currency. So that's all for today. Now I'm going to ping you the interview questions. Sorry, the trial head. So these are the trial head. These are the trial head links. That's all for today.